My next guest is a French film star who has caused ladies to pass out at the very sight of him.
Alain Delon, born November 8, 1935 in Sceaux, France, was one of the most iconic actors of French cinema. Renowned for his handsome looks and intense screen persona, his career took off during the 1960s, and he became an international star with films like Plein Soleil, Rocco and His Brothers, and Le Samouraï. He became a symbol of classic French cinema, recognized for his versatility and timeless appeal. Even in semi-retirement, his influence in the film industry remains.
You have a lot of toughs among your friends, haven't you?
Yeah? Why?
He had an upbringing marked by instability and rebellion. His parents, Edith and Fabien Delon, divorced when he was only 4, which had a significant impact on his childhood. After the separation, Delon was placed in the care of foster families, moving frequently and experiencing a fractured home life. He attended several schools but struggled with discipline and was expelled from multiple institutions for his rebellious behavior. This troubled youth contributed to the enigmatic and rebellious persona he later cultivated on screen. At 17, he enlisted in the French Navy, seeking structure and adventure. He was stationed in Indochina, but military life didn't temper his defiant nature. After several incidents of misconduct, he was discharged from the Navy, returning to France without clear direction. But his striking looks and undeniable charisma eventually led him into acting, in an industry where he found both success and solace. Breakthrough in cinema. Delon's entry into the film industry came somewhat by chance. While working various odd jobs, he caught the eye of a talent scout at the Cannes Film Festival, which led to his first roles in minor films. His breakthrough came in 1960 with Plein Soleil, released internationally as Purple Noon, an adaptation of Patricia Highsmith's novel The Talented Mr. Ripley. Delon's portrayal of Tom Ripley, the charming yet sociopathic anti-hero, was a revelation. His performance captured both the character's dangerous allure and moral ambiguity, launching Delon to international stardom. His career took off from there, as he became a regular presence in European cinema, known for his magnetic screen presence and ability to portray complex, morally ambiguous characters. In Rocco and His Brothers, directed by Luchino Visconti, Delon played Rocco, a tender and self-sacrificing character in a turbulent family drama. His role in the film showcased his range as an actor, earning him critical acclaim and further solidifying his place among the elite actors of his generation. Iconic roles and collaborations. The 60s and early 70s were the golden era of Delon's career. He became synonymous with cool, enigmatic characters, often involved in crime, deception, or moral conflict. His collaborations with director Jean-Pierre Melville resulted in some of his most iconic roles. In Le Samouraï, Delon played Jeff Costello, a detached hitman bound by his own rigid code of honor. The film, with its minimal aesthetic and sparse dialogue, is considered a masterpiece of neo-noir, and Delon's portrayal of the emotionally distant yet lethal hitman remains one of his defining roles. Delon's collaborations with Italian director Luchino Visconti were also crucial in shaping his career. Aside from Rocco and His Brothers, he worked with Visconti in The Leopard, where he portrayed a young, ambitious aristocrat in the midst of Italy's political changes in the 19th century. The film, based on Giuseppe Tomasi di Lampedusa's novel, won the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival and remains one of the most celebrated films of European cinema. Delon also ventured into film production, starring in and producing films like Borsellino, a gangster film set in 1930s Marseille, where he co-starred with Jean-Paul Belmondo. His foray into production allowed him greater creative control over his projects and solidified his reputation not just as an actor, but as a shrewd businessman in the film industry. Relationships and the Marković affair. Delon's personal life was as public and complex as his career. His relationships, often with high-profile women, became the subject of intense media scrutiny. His most famous relationship was with Romy Schneider, the Austrian-born actress whom he met on the set of Christine in 1958. The two became one of the most glamorous couples in European cinema, and although their relationship ended in 1964, they remained close friends until Schneider's tragic death in 1982. Delon's relationship with Schneider has often been romanticized, as they symbolized a golden era of European cinema. But it was another relationship that brought Delon into the center of a major scandal, the Marković affair. In 1968, Stevan Marković, Delon's former bodyguard, was found murdered near Paris. The case became one of the most infamous scandals in French history, involving accusations of political conspiracy, sex scandals, and blackmail. Marković had been close to Delon and claimed to have compromising photographs of several prominent figures, including Delon's wife at the time, Natalie. These photographs allegedly showed her in compromising situations, and Marković was believed to have been blackmailing these figures. Delon was briefly considered a suspect in the murder, but he denied any involvement, and the case eventually became a political firestorm. Marković had left a letter stating, quote, "If I get killed, it's Alain Delon or his godfather who did it." Delon's connection to Corsican mobster François Marcantoni further complicated matters, though Delon himself was never charged. The Marković affair dragged Delon into unwanted media circus, and while it never resulted in charges against him, it left a shadow over his career. For a time, the scandal threatened to derail his acting career, but Delon's resilience and popularity allowed him to continue working without permanent damage to his reputation. Alain Delon passed away in 2024 after spending his final years in seclusion. Beginning in 2019, following a debilitating stroke, Delon retreated from the public eye, marking the end of a life that had once been in the spotlight. His health deteriorated, and the once charismatic actor became increasingly isolated, choosing to live in reclusion in his home in Douchy, away from the world that had celebrated him for decades. During this period, his relationships with his children, Anthony, Anushka, and Alain Fabien, became strained. Tensions between him and his children deepened as they reportedly disagreed over personal and family matters, particularly concerning his legacy and estate. This estrangement remained unresolved at the time of his death, leaving behind a fractured family dynamic. Since his passing, Delon's estate has become the subject of a bitter legal battle among his children. The family has been locked in disputes over the distribution of his vast fortune, which includes lucrative real estate holdings, a valuable art collection, and other assets from his successful business ventures. The public has been captivated by this inheritance battle, as it brings to light the discord that characterized Delon's later years. Adding to the controversy, Delon's longtime partner and caregiver, Hiromi Rollin, has publicly claimed she was prevented from seeing him in his final days. According to Rollin, Delon's children barred her from visiting him as his health worsened, despite her close relationship with him during his later years. This claim has further fueled the legal drama, with Rollin suggesting that her exclusion was part of a broader conflict within the family. Despite these feuds, Alain Delon's legacy as one of the most legendary actors of French and international cinema remains untarnished. His fans continue to celebrate his extraordinary body of work, remembering him for his iconic roles in films like Le Samouraï and Plein Soleil. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think future generations will know about Alain Delon's contribution to cinema? Let us know in the comments section below.